And then I move in a lot of black people here. We take the property value all the way fucking down.
You been one fucking stuff.
You know,
nigga.
It's not really worth the energy.
Yeah.
Mostly. I don't. It's a very vain.
We are
Essence. Yeah, that's how I feel when I get on. Be like every time I get on.
Hey, mamacita, muy bonito. Baby, I got it. Like Mama Africa, you just way too bad. You the top nigga, man, go mad. You just way too bad. You the top nigga, man, wanna spend that bag.
true.
Got me so in love with you,
was in the office because they were recording.
like on fire. Got a nigga singing like la 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 la.
I know
Let that
we
shit go.
get
Act like that you got to let that shit go.
48 laws of power.
How you deal with procrastination, Richie?
Me, how I deal with procrastination? Like, I accept it for what it is, procrastinate for a certain amount of time, and I will get to like a low point where I'm like, nah, I need to do something, you know? Because I also know like my own, like, it's important, I think, before we even like go to procrastination, it's just a little bit of a step back. I think it's important to know yourself and allow for different things at different times. So you can't just be focused on, I'm just gonna do everything, I'm gonna try and do this, try to do that, and never allow for downtime and never allow yourself to recharge. And so procrastination is a form of I think, is a form of recharging.
It's a form of self-care. Is that what you're about to tell me?
It's self-care. Procrastination is not all bad. It's self-care. That's just your brain telling you like, listen, I am just not in the mood for shit right now. And listen to yourself, listen to your body. And just, if you're not in the mood, don't push yourself because the results might not be what you want them to be. So procrastinate for a little bit and then you will find a time when your brain is just like, I'm tired of that, come on.
How I deal with procrastination, man. For me, I'll go back to just like, I have such a connection to my why. I set realistic goals and I'm always trying to get to them. So for every time I feel like I should be doing something and I'm not, I will take some time off, but I will always go back to my regular circle. You know, I'm human at the end of the day. You want to have a little time with yourself. But again, when I look at my goal and I look at the responsibility that I have towards people who work with me, I just don't have it in me to just let anybody down. So I think about my circle and the role that I have to play in everybody's project, in everybody's situation, and then my own. That usually sends me right back to work.
You come back to talking about that you are very close to the why.
Yeah.
So that leads me into the next question.
Mm-hmm.
When was the moment you realized the potential in Zanze?
The moment I realized that Zanze had a huge potential is when I started making content and I started getting like, it was almost like an immediate thing and people started reaching out and reacting to what I was saying. I always believed in it and I always knew that that's what I wanted for me, but I just didn't know if somebody else would look at what I'm saying or listen to what I'm saying and it resonates.
People listen to you.
Yeah, man. For some reason, yeah.
My guy.
To keep this short is like the minute I started noticing that other people were reacting to what I was doing, I knew I was on the right path and I never stopped since. Yeah.
My guy.
So that's how that happened.
Exception to the rule is your brand slogan.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go with that one? Richie know the background.
Yeah, but that wasn't even the first one. Like we had like so many shit that we was brainstorming. Who was like, what was it?
Bro, like we had exclusively inclusive,
yeah.
Stand out, let them fit in, and then we lined it up on exception to the rule. And the reason why that stuck was like my whole life I always felt like the exception, like my thinking patterns, drive,
elitist behavior.
I just felt that my perspective was unique, and I mean.
But it was more like the vibe too. Like it was the vibe that we've been on that. Like
Yeah.
It's just like we're not doing the regular shit that other people
are doing every day and expecting a different result.
You know what I mean? It's just like we we talk shit, but like it's never just talking shit for talking shit's sake.
No, and there's time
And
for everything.
you know what I
anyway,
mean,
so-
and even like just the way of thinking, because like you remember, and this is about the song. You remember that one song we was in the house. I'm not gonna say the name because it's not released. But we was in the house and we were just talking shit. You remember that day? And from just 3 words, like an entire song, which
Came out of that,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And so it's always been that like whatever we're doing, and I haven't seen it in a lot of other people, and I think that's why the exception to the rule is so applicable.
It is.
Is that we could start off doing just whatever,
I mean, yeah.
and it becomes something else. And whatever we're doing is always like creative in a way that it will produce something. And most people don't like. Most people talk shit and just talk shit and nothing comes out of it.
Like
You know?
intuitively, like it always leads to something.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And I got to tell you guys this too. The other reason why I've always felt that way is my geographical location. You know, I am a
bro.
my geographical location. Like
bro.
I am a minority out here. So it's like to be that and not to choose the safe route is absolute ludicrous to most people. But
you know
that is the same way I decided to go. I decided to be an entrepreneur as opposed to just, getting a job.
You know what you
doing the
said?
regular- Yeah.
What you said actually it just hit me in a different way. Because like, yeah, the geographical location is one thing, but like I had just like a quick flash in my head about like all the things I've done since I've lived here. And it is not
The typical
the
stuff you'll have
typical
done
shit.
if you lived in Jamaica.
You know what I mean? Not just living in Jamaica, but I mean like here, it is not the typical shit for, black and brown people. All the shit I've studied, all the jobs that I've had, like, dude, you know how many jobs I've had where I'm the only black guy in the building? It's just like, yeah.
If that doesn't make you the exception to the rule, I really don't know what else.
No, but
does.
it's funny. Like this is subconscious. Like it's been there subliminally on some kind of level. Because like all of the jobs that I've done, like I am either the only black guy or one of 2. It's never more than 3. So I'm like,
it's a joke. It's a joke. Don't take this seriously. But I think there's like a 2-person minimum.
I'm a token nigga.
No, actually, there's a 2-person maximum. Either way, otherwise people start getting uncomfortable. Hey, man, we're not gonna say this.
Yeah, I get too niggerish.
I mean, all right. Next question. I'll cut you out. Don't worry.
This is a simple one.
Yeah.
What's your favorite task in the day running up something?
Just coming up with new ideas and just getting the right people to do the job. And really just being in the moment with these people doing this, with people doing the work. So it's just an opportunity to learn.
But you speak of new ideas, like I want to know where this came from, bro. I mean, I know it's the Zodiac thing, yeah? But like, did you just wake up one fucking day and just be like, yeah, I want to do the Zodiac thing?
Actually, we want to make a capsule with like our favorite movies and stuff. So we did the Zodiac, we did
Dirty Dancing,
and then we did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's just movies that I love and the other guys do. So we just decided to make a capsule for the people.
Okay, and nobody asked me like.
But you're not at the meeting.
No,
so I ask you to come to meetings, you don't show up. So
I'm the consigliere. Like you call me and it's like, listen, this is what I'm thinking. I'll be like,
one more question. This one you take seriously. Yeah. No. Keep going. We got time.
Yeah, because there is plenty of questions on the same theme.
Yeah, go on.
And that is capital and finance.
Just read it and then
I hate my job. I would like to own a business and be my own boss. How do I go about that?
Don't quit today's job.
That's what he was saying. It's risk averse.
Risk perverse.
Alright, cool. I'll answer this. So I don't think you should quit your job till you know what you're gonna do and you have a solid plan. And also, you are gonna need your job to finance the side hustle or whatever it is that you decide to do after that. So my advice for you will be, you can hate a job and still do it, but you have an exit plan and you know when you're getting out of it so that you're working towards something as you go. Save your money, put it in the right places, and put in the things that you love doing so you don't have to hate any other job after that. That's so important.
And here comes Mr. Risk Averse. Don't quit your day job. The first thing you should do once you settled on an idea, I think, is that you get a business plan. A business plan is so very important. Have a business plan for whatever idea it is that you have, and you start laying the foundations. So, business plan, then you secure capital, you think about marketing, you think about all the things that you're going to need. If it's like an online business, then you're going to need a website. And even if it's not an primarily online business, you still need a website. It's a marketing tool. If you're going to have a physical location, where is the location? What is the possibilities in terms of expanding? All of these things need to be thought. There's a lot of thought work that goes into starting a business, and quitting your day job to focus only on that is going to be problematic because you still need a roof over your head. Your bills still need to be paid. So it doesn't matter how much you hate your job, see your job as a source of income to sustain your life so you can build your dream.
Words to live by. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's a money game. You need to have cash, and it just doesn't show up out of nowhere. So you can't get something for nothing, and just always think about that.
And another thing, most businesses are not successful, or they don't actually make profit before the first 2 years. So you need to be in it for the long haul. That's also another reason to not quit your job.
Hang in there, but create an exit plan.
I still have a job, I ain't saying shit.
You kind of already answered the next one,
Good.
but I will read it anyway, and
Go.
we'll see if you have anything to add. Should I start and figure it out as I go, or should I wait till I have enough money to start on my idea?
There is a risk in starting and figuring it out as you go along, in that you might get to a point where you don't have enough capital to sustain what you started. And the irony of all ironies, it's probably at the time when your business is starting to pick up that you might find yourself strapped for cash.
Capital.
And that could kill your whole dream. So Mr. Risk Averse says, save your money, have enough money to be able to run your business for about 6 months to a year. That might be a lot of money depending on what business you're starting. But always have a buffer of 6 months, so you know that this should, in theory, sustain my business for 6 months. And in the worst case scenario that I don't have a job or whatever not, you still have that buffer.
Capital is a pain for lots of aspiring entrepreneurs. Could you share tips on how to get started without much capital?
Depending on the business that you're starting, you can actually get financing from, like, for example, we live in Sweden. There are different places that are specifically
Thank you for giving out the location.
Yeah, we don't get shot, right? Anyways, it doesn't matter. The geographics is neither here nor there, innit?
I was just kidding, bro. Relax out.
Depending on where you are, it is always a good idea, and it has a lot to do with the business that you intend to start as well. It's always a good idea to check with your municipality or, different organizations, because there are lots of organizations that provide like microloans for starting small businesses. There are lots of organizations that actually invest in small businesses. They go in and help you to build that business without requiring capital from your side. Once the idea is good, once you have a good business plan, I cannot emphasize enough on having a business plan. Business plan creates opportunities. It takes a lot of work because you have to know almost every single bit of expenditure. You have to know your market. You have to know how much you're projected to earn.
Your margins.
All of these things are important. So a proper business plan takes time. But when you have a proper business plan, if there are grants or loans that are available from the government or from different organizations in your country, you could actually qualify off a business plan alone to get financing to actually start. And it's important to explore these avenues because there is so much free money. It sounds weird to say it, but there is so much free money available for starting businesses, but people don't know.
Here's the thing, yeah, like for new business owners, like myself, like when I was just getting started, I created a business plan, obviously, but I went with a business that didn't need so much capital to start. In that way, I could foot the bill myself, and also I didn't have to be in debt. Just in case your business doesn't do what you think it will do, like you gotta think about all these things and see what you're willing to gain and what you're willing to lose. At the end of the day, it's a risk. If you're willing to take it, you take it. But my personal opinion on this will be, you need to work that capital in. It's just easier, and the burden is just a bit lighter when you know that if I lose this money, it's just mine, as opposed to if I owe it to somebody else. That's stress right there.
Yeah, facts.
But it all comes down to what kind of business you want to do, and you gotta make the decision. But there is capital out there. There's, like he was talking about, government, and there's also your own money you can spend on this.
Yeah, it is whatever, depending on where you're starting, you know, what your journey is going to be. And at the end of the day, it comes down to being risk averse or risk perverse.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean,
I don't like losing money, but there's always a risk of losing money.
Yeah, it is your acceptance of risk and how much risk you're willing to take, depending on what's available, what's on the table. So you still have to know your situation and what works for you.
It is very important.
You talk about community a lot. In what way do members of Zanzewrld benefit from the community? So
in the community that we've established is we do like a skill share situation. So we are a clothing brand. That means we know how to do graphics, we know how to do content, we know how to do Facebook marketing,
Instagram marketing.
We know Instagram marketing. We've covered all these bases when it comes to technicalities, right? So you're coming into our community, you have access to all these skills. You could come in without skills, and that's okay too, and learn from us. And you could take this knowledge and transfer it into your own businesses or whatever you decide to go do. And if you have skills, even better, because now you have like a legitimate place in this community, and you can exist either way. For as long as we're exchanging information
and
ideas, somebody's definitely gaining something, and that's the whole thing. It's about giving you value while you give me some.
Do you have anything to say there?
Nah, I mean, community is the key word, I think, because like once you understand what community means, then you understand that it has to be an experience where everybody benefits. Like if you are a part of what Zanze is as a community, then you know you are bringing value. You might not think of it as bringing value, but we don't think anybody is without value. You might not recognize the value you have, or you may not see the potential in yourself. And that will come out in a community because you are encouraged to learn new things. You're encouraged to, you know, become a part of something, comfort zone. You know, get out of whatever you consider to be your comfort zone, but also just free your creative spirit, more or less.
Yeah.
You know, and you will get inspired by other people around you, regardless of what they're doing. If it's, you know, just your friends that you talk shit with, saying like, you know what, like these guys have some cool ideas, and I follow them on Instagram or whatnot, and you start talking about that, and it's like, oh, but you know, they say it's a community, and then it's like, oh, really? I'll follow, and then it's like the interaction builds from there, and then you truly become a part of the community. Yeah. Maybe just off, you know, just talking shit with your friend.
Yeah, man.
And then you think like, but we can't really talk to them guys until you shoot like a DM. It's like, oh, I like this one or whatever. And then you get that kind of feedback that makes you feel included.
And by the way, I answer all emails and I answer all DMs, day and night.
Last question. What's next for Zanze?
Zanze is still in infancy at this moment, but what I'm looking to do is to expand this community as much as I can, because the more you do that, the more value and the more help you can provide to people who need it. We are business, of course. We want to expand and sell more and expand and just do greater things. But the most important thing is like, this is not like a one-way exchange. We help a lot of people start their businesses. We help them through their businesses. We make money doing it, but we all gain something from the exchange, and that's what I want Zanze to be known for, what Zanze to be.
You know what I think? I think we come full circle. And I say that because I think that Zanze is going to become what O4O was going to be.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, it just never got there. But this is the natural evolution of things. So I think like the vision that we initially had for O4O is what Zanze is going to be. So more or less, Zanze is the child of O4O.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for as long as I don't know who say this, but a life spent in the service of others
is a life well spent.
Exactly. It's a life well spent. It's we're just here to help out, man. Provide whatever it is that you guys need.
And with that being said, we don't really have to go home, but we're gonna get the fuck out of here.
Exactly, bro. Have a good night.